So after having to press out the rubber inserts that were in there, on this one here, I have to, there's a metal sleeve that goes in there, and you have to remove the metal sleeve as well as the rubber. So you got to cut that with a hacksaw in two places and then take it out with a chisel. So now that I've got that completely busted up, you can see over here on this side it is lifted. We pressed a rubber part out originally. This piece here was what was inside of there, and then to remove all that excess rubber on the inside of that thing, we use that and the drill there, and big old pile of rubber on the floor. Here it is. Got it out. We're gonna work on this U-joint. We've got a couple different sockets here. One's big enough to push the other into, and we got this great big press here to do it with. I'm going to zero in on it here a little bit, and you'll be able to see how this works. It's a great big lever here, and that presses down. Instead of having to pound on it for half an hour, I've got this big press. So now I flipped it over, and we're going to take the cap off. We loosened it. We're going to push down on it and push it out the other side.
Good. Well, I want to see you do that.
Huh?
Come on, turn. Now show me your happy face.
Another nice thing about being down here at Frank's is I've got this
old covers, yeah, they just get brittle, huh?
Well,
painting booth.
the damn washer's broken.
And Frank said that this looked like an art installation. It's got a big old fan, and when you're spraying in here, it sucks the overspray out so fast it doesn't even bother you. One of the things that I failed to do last time I changed these was put some what do they call it? Antiseize on the parts that come apart, so when I do need to take them apart, I can do it without a bunch of rust making things stick. Well, that side was easy. go. Well, that one's on. Now here's the new bushings that we got put in there, and I kept saying neoprene, but actually it was urethane. And that's all ready to go as well. I'm pretty much finished now with sandblasting and then painting. Got most of the stuff done here. You can see the paint turned out really nice. Got the hubs here with the got new bearings we'll be putting in there. Got the shocks on the front, and then got the shocks on the back. Those are the rear ones. And then we got the other parts here. We got the half axles and the front arms there, and you can see here's some more of the bushings that I had to use this saw to cut those things out of there, and we'll get started on the body pretty soon. Obviously we could not put these in Frank's little booth for sandblasting. He has gotten his body on his other two cars sandblasted down at this place, and he set me down there, and it cost me $110 to get these both sandblasted. So now they're completely sandblasted, and all that crap on the inside I don't have to worry about. Now this is nice and clean, and I can come back here and use those panels to fix that. And you can see, if you look underneath here, all the undercoating that Von Tilly has put on there is gone, and I didn't have to mess with it. Boy, that's saved me a hell of a lot. Now put a panel in there. I'm pretty sure Frank can help me do that. Show me how to lead it and do it the right way. So there's the panel. That all we have to do is cut that out and put this used part of that other panel. What I'm thinking, at least at this point, is that I'll take a saw, we'll cut pretty much straight here, and then go straight down that way, and just take the same piece out of this and put them together. We'll see if that works. So speaking of leading, Frank is working on the top of his right now, and eventually I'm going to have to do that with my fenders to get them to be the right way. So some of this is starting to look like real welding. That really does look like the real thing. And so, the theory goes that this piece is going to fit in here, as Monty Python so succinctly said. And then this piece is going to be welded in place underneath it, and it continues this line back to the fender. After replacing this piece here, now I have to fill in from down here and there with another piece of metal to replace what was all rusted out. By and large, the welding went pretty good. I was able to get most of the spots without much trouble, although some of the areas where the old metal and the new metal came together, the old metal was thinner and kind of funky, and it kind of dissolved when the heat hit it, so I had to be real careful next to it. Just for fun, I pushed the quarter panel up in there to see how it fit after I made the patch back here, and it looks pretty darn good. You can see here that this section where the rust got it, it completely ate this away. That's supposed to be sticking out this way, so I had to build another piece to kind of fit in there so that I could weld on the part that covers that right there. The next little bit that I need to work with here is this piece that I bent to match the section right here so that it fits up in there, and then this part that goes back here section there. On the inside, this is how it looks, and we'll have to weld that. You know, I'll probably just spot weld that here and there and see where we go from there. With the position of the plate here on the inside, I have to weld with my left hand. With all the other stuff taken away, we can now work on this. You can see I already chopped a bunch of it out of there. Finally got to patch this hole that was under here, and learned quite a bit. Most of the top part up in here, all of that, I did with the TIG welder. And then when I started working on this bottom part here, every time I would get it going, it would dig a hole through the thing and wouldn't heat the bottom part of it, so I'd burn a hole and then it wouldn't stick. So I had to switch to MIG welding, and the MIG welder did a really nice job. The next thing I need to do is go in here and paint with seam sealer all the stuff that I've welded in here. I'm going to leave the edge clear. I'll paint that, and then I'll be able to weld this other panel in there. The panel is now welded in, and I believe it's stronger than the original.